How's everybody out in YouTube land today? Hope this finds you well. Welcome to Mind Equals Blown with me and my buddy Matt Haas. We're going to give you some facts. Hopefully the most of them will be true. Matt's handing out virtual tacos and I'm handing out cowbell rings. And none of them are worth a whole lot except for a whole lot of fun. So that's going to be the deal for tonight. Hopefully, we'll get a whole bunch of people in here in the chat. So far, nobody's typing anything. We need people to type something on there and let us know you're here. Farmall Fanatics in the house. Good to see you. Farmall Fanatic, he's going to have a live stream tomorrow night. And what are you giving away a tractor tomorrow night, Farmall?
I played along on Farmall's channel. Hi, everyone. I'm Matt from Awesome Wood Things. I'm the partner in crime here on Mind Equals Blown. And yes, I have virtual tacos. And there's no real value to any of this stuff in the real world.
It's just all a bunch of fun.
The value is what you make of it. Who's that? Crystal McGuire. Hello, Farmall Fanatic. Hello, hello.
Hello, Crystal. Good to have you in the house. Everybody be straggling in here in a little bit.
Yeah.
Oh, Lord.
Invite your friends. Make friends.
Share, 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 and hit the like button.
Get 1K people in the room, and I will ha, ha, ha. That'd be awesome. 1,000-person live stream. That should be our goal.
Yep. That's what we all ought to be shooting for.
We'll have to blow a lot of minds.
I cannot say enough about sharing the videos. Share them, the ones that you're doing, the ones that you attend, share the dickens out of them, because that's how we get this stuff promoted. People learn what's going on by word of mouth. I mean, YouTube can only do just so much for us. So, we have to do a certain amount for ourselves. We can't just sit back and rest on our laurels and wait for great things to happen to us. He helps those who help themselves, it has been said.
I got a good video in the queue. Farmall might like it because I know he has a lot of equipment on the homestead. So I took a scroll saw, a piece of woodworking equipment. I stripped all the paint off and repainted it to look like Van Halen stripes on his guitar back in the 80s. Have you ever done anything like that on the homestead, Farmall? Well, my video is going to come out soon, and who knows? Maybe it'll flop. Maybe it'll blow their minds on how cool my scroll saw looks, because it's pretty sweet looking.
I saw a picture on Facebook the other day of a pink tractor that they painted this tractor pink, and then the headlights on it, they painted to look like eyes.
No.
Put big eyelashes on.
No eyelashes. No.
I love that. That's my kind of tractor right there. I love that.
It's the Brenda Mobile.
That's right. Oh, I tool around town every day on that thing.
Promise me, if that ever becomes a reality, you'll wave like this.
Yeah. Oh,
like,
yeah.
Yeah.
Gotta do
not like this. You got to do the parade wave.
Yeah. The Queen's wave.
Oh, girls tractor, says Farmall Fanatic. Yep. Yeah. My.
Well, I got a fact here for you.
Bring it on.
Did you
Will
know
it blow my mind?
Well, I hope so. Magpies. You know what a magpie is?
What's a magpie?
Well, a magpie is a bird that's similar to a crow, but it's a little bit different breed. Magpies are considered one of the most intelligent animals in the world, and the only non-mammal species able to recognize itself in a mirror test.
Huh. Amazing. Are they more intelligent than pigs and dolphins and octopus?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, they kind of steal like a crow. They like shiny objects and stuff. They'll take stuff from you and take it back to their hidey hole. And
crows are wicked smart too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
There was a video of a veterinarian, and he had a crow, and he's like, do not own a crow as a pet. And he went through all of the things it does, and it's just a mean bird. You have to give it, you know, have to put water out so it can kind of bathe itself. Water goes everywhere, junk goes everywhere, and it's just deliberately evil.
If you make a crow mad at you, you know, throw something at it or something, they recognize you.
Mm.
And they do not forget, and they will be waiting for you forever.
Oh man. Yeah.
You don't want to make a crow mad at you.
Well, I know bird like parrots, like cockatoos and scarlet macaws, they'll have the mentality of a 2-year-old human child, like throughout their entire life, and they live to be like 80 years old. So could you imagine having a toddler in bird form like all of your life? I'm like, no.
I have a cockatiel. Now,
Cockatiel, yeah.
they'll generally go maybe 30 years. I've heard some live longer than that. I don't know.
Okay.
Mine should be about 20 right now. I've raised him since he came out of the egg. But now he'll have temper tantrums, something fierce. Other days, you know, he's just the sweetest thing ever was. But every once in a while, he'll just get in a mood where he's just going to scream and have a temper tantrum. But he's still learning. Yeah, you know, I taught him the other day. He's got a new song that he likes. You remember? Oh, now I'm not going to be able to think of the name of it. Fernando by ABBA.
Oh, okay.
He likes that, and so he's been trying to whistle Fernando.
It can do that? It can kind of carry a tune?
Well, he's a little bit tone deaf. So he kind of makes up his own rendition of it.
All right.
I mean, if you've heard him do it enough, then you know, okay, he's trying to do Fernando, or he's trying to do, you know, whatever other songs and stuff that he knows. But yeah, he does his own rendition, which, you know, he'll never get a copyright strike.
They're a little bit more lenient when you parody, or, you know, you what do they call that? Yeah,
parody on it. Yeah. And he's got little tricks and stuff that he does. He knows how to do somersaults by climbing up the side of the cage, and then he does a little somersault from the top, coming back down the side. And sometimes he'll do that. He tries to trick me because every time I see him do it, I say, "What you doing?" And so sometimes he'll run over there like he's going to do it, and he don't do it to see if I'm going to say anything, and I won't say anything.
Who's training who? It's people.
But my favorite thing that he does is when I get up of a morning and I walk into the room, he wolf whistles at me.
Okay.
No matter what I look like, no matter how bad I look.
He cat calls you?
He cat calls me when I walk in the room. That's my favorite thing. And I mean, every morning without fail, when I walk in there, he's right there.
Number one fan. Did we say on a previous show, speaking of birds, penguins used to be 6 feet tall and weighed 200 pounds? Did we say that fact?
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah. They were giants.
They were, man. They were fierce, too. Could you imagine squaring off with a 6-foot penguin looking eye to eye at it? Takes its big flipper and smacks you across the head.
Can you imagine going home all bloody and bruised, and your wife says to you, "Matt, what happened to you today?" "I got my ass kicked by a penguin."
It's probably all soft, like you punch it in its belly and it's all padded with feathers. It probably doesn't even hurt it. Meanwhile, it's pecking your eyes out.
Oh. Now, do you have the show up and running?
Well, I have it paused, the show page.
Yeah. Can you see what's going on the screen?
Yeah.
Okay. Is it buffering for you?
Oh.
Because mine was showing buffer. Right? Crystal and Farmall, are y'all having buffering issues with the show tonight? Or is it coming through okay? Maybe it might just be my computer.
I think I'm live. Yeah, now I'm live with it muted. It looks okay to me.
Okay. Because I didn't know if it was just me or, you know, if it was an issue tonight.
I think we're good.
Is it real or is it Memorex? You're too young to remember. They used to have the coolest posters in the world.
No. I used to buy. I had the Memorex poster, and I was in the Memorex club. Like I would get so many blank packets of the tapes. I would mail them in, and they had a little gift catalog, and I would get like a duffel bag, a Memorex duffel bag. Oh yeah, that was
Did
a
you
big
have a poster of the
audiophile.
guy in the chair
Yeah,
with
yeah.
his hair blowing back from the
The
speaker?
chair started moving back. Yeah, that was a classic. No, I'm not too young for that. I was in the Memorex club. Yeah, because I used to dupe a lot of audio on the tapes.
Uh-huh.
You know, and yeah, no, I was big into. I had the coolest stereo, man. Oh man, you know, the floor standing speakers. Oh, it would knock the walls down.
Oh, I loved my Memorex tapes. I used to tape all kinds of music and stuff on them tapes, and loved my Memorex.
And then when the CDs came out, I was first on that bandwagon. And then the Record Club of America started doing CDs, and I would, you recommend a friend, you get 12 free. So I would make up people at my own address, and I would get the free, and it would just be this rotating circle of fake people. And the mailman says, does Brett Lawson live here? I'm like, yeah, that's me. give me my CD. Yeah, I made up an alias for myself because I was actually scamming the Record Club of America. But you know, in hindsight, they were really scamming me, because I think it cost like 22 cents a disc to make, and you know,
Yeah.
that it was all, they didn't care. They're like, yeah, we'll take your money on your 3 fake revolving accounts. I had CDs, anything I wanted. I couldn't pass up the bargain, because you know, you factor in those 12 free against the 12 that you had to buy onesie twosies, so it was really 20. I was like, this is a great deal.
Yeah.
So that's the way I played it.
Did you know that Expedia.com, Hotels.com, Hotwire.com, Trivago, Travelocity, and Orbitz are all owned by the same company, Expedia Incorporated?
No way. I had no idea. It's the same with eyeglasses. All the eyeglasses are owned by Luxottica. Every brand is owned by them. Nike brand sunglasses owned by Luxottica. Oakley, Luxottica. It's all Luxottica. The only ones that aren't are the mail order ones like Warby Parker, the ones in Costco, and the ones in Walmart. They don't touch them. Other than that, and it's lenses and frames, one company. True monopoly. There's very few other ones. Yeah, it's a huge racket. Here's a fun fact. We all know Facebook, right? Unfortunately.
Yep.
The blue interface, it's because Mark Zuckerberg has some color issues with his eyes, and he can perceive blue very well. That's why it's mostly blue. He has like a red-green issue with the colors red and green. So the color blue is because of the founder's visual ailment. Isn't that crazy?
Does that have anything to do with him being an alien?
Did you see him at the congressional hearings? He looks all white and pale, and the smile. Did you see this creepy smile? He would turn it off. The smile would go like this. He'd go, it would just like vanish instantly. And the water. Who drinks water like this? I'll do my impression of Mark Zuckerberg drinking water. Be quiet so it stays on me. This is Mark. Like he doesn't move his head at all. His head is completely. It's really creepy.
Hey, that's because he's an alien.
Is he a reptilian?
I want to see him prove otherwise.
Or is he Zeta Reticulan?
I don't know, but whatever it is not of this earth.
Well, when that Kara Swisher interviewed him, he was he almost had like a complete mental break. He was all sweaty. But I don't know if you remember that. He was in this super thick hoodie and the lights were he was sweat was rolling down his, and they were putting the screws to him about privacy. And he was just, they felt bad almost. They're like, this guy's going to, he's going to break down. Yeah, he was in bad shape.
Speech that Janet Yellen gave, what was it, a year or so ago, where she was given some kind of a statement about the economy, and she was a mess. Her speech was all garbled. She looked like she was going to pass out at one point. And there was a lot of talk then about, she was being controlled by aliens, or she's an alien, or something. There's something wrong with her.
Wow, that's nuts.
They walk among us.
One cast, one fish is here. Hello, this is Mind Equals Blown.
Good to see you.
If the chat room has any interesting facts they want to share, drop it in the chat.
Yeah, we're in here just giving interesting facts and talking about them. And Matt will give out some virtual tacos, and I'll hit the cowbell. I haven't hit the cowbell yet tonight.
Oh boy, away from the mic. That's too close to the microphone.
I'll probably put up a Heifer Haven later tonight. I had somebody asking me yesterday, you haven't put any Heifer Havens up yet this week. What happened to you? So I'll have to get another Heifer Haven.
People need their 40-second video fix.
That's right. Yeah. The cowbell. More cowbell.
YouTube likes long videos. Here, you're doing less than a minute. Everyone zigs, you zag, Brenda.
You never know what I'm liable to do next.
You're ahead of everyone. That's what it is.
I don't even know what I'm going to do next.
All right, here's an interesting fact. I think we had this one too. Lenny Kravitz and Al Roker are cousins. Did we have that fact on the show before?
No.
Yeah. Yeah, the mild-mannered weatherman and rock star have, they're drastically different people, but they're related. They share the same great-great-grandfather.
Huh.
Lenny Kravitz is one cool dude. He is an interesting guy. That he was at a hotel, and they had a high school band out on the courtyard outside playing one of his songs on all of the high school equipment. He came down and he jammed with them, and he sang his song while the band played his song. The "Are You Gonna Go My Way," one of the songs that he has. I hope to meet him one day. He sounds like a really cool guy.
Well, did you know that before the term bloopers was coined, outtakes were called boners?
That can't be true.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Oh, man.
I remember, growing up, Dad would talk about, somebody did something silly or whatever. He said, boy, he did a boner.
Cool.
Yep, sure enough. And baked beans are actually not baked. They're stewed. But would you eat them if the can said stewed beans?
Can any type of soup be prepared any other way than stewed? Because beans are like soup. They're in a liquid,
Yeah.
That's crazy. Crazy.
Soup's usually boiled.
Interesting fact here about owls. Owls are cool creatures.
I love owls.
They're one of the smartest birds, and they are dead silent. You cannot hear an owl. One time it was at my friend's house. It was completely dark, and the street lamps just kind of caught something going overhead. It was an owl, and one single feather slowly came. I mean, it was coming down so slow. It dropped right in front of it. It was an owl feather. But if we didn't see it, we'd have never known it was there. They are silent because they need to sneak up on whatever they're getting.
There are people that keep owls as pets, but I'm not into that. I don't like their feeding habits. That they like meat and
Jim
Being a
Dockrell showed up. Hi, Jim.
Hey, Jim Dockrell.
Welcome to Mind Equals Blown. Talking about interesting facts.
Just in time prepping showed up. Good to see you in the house.
Hey, hello, hello. I'm Matt Haas from Awesome Wood Things. We're talking about things that blow our minds. If anyone in the chat room drops a fact that will blow either my mind or Brenda's mind, you'll get virtual items that have no real value, but you'll get virtual items nonetheless. Tacos and cowbells. What more can you want, people? Come on.
Do you know who let me get this right. Rowan Atkinson.
Atkinson. Is? What about?
That's Mr. Bean.
Oh, okay.
He was the voice of Zazu in The Lion King.
Oh, really? See, that's an actor's bread and butter income is those anime. They can rack up the money, and it's kind of, they can sometimes do it on the down low, or, you know, even if you know, it's kind of like, oh, you kind of forget about it when you watch. Yeah, actors love doing animated work.
Well, you don't have to dress up, you know, you just go into work and you just talk into the microphone.
Mm-hmm. No, it's well, one of my actor friends, she does voiceover work on the side. So she'll do, not as glamorous, but she'll do spoken audiobooks and things like that. And yeah, some of that stuff, like you'll have a director right there and I'm like, cut, do it again. Or like, you're speaking a little more softly. And her, like, she doesn't have a studio. She does it in her closet. And sometimes the clothes hangers clank and get picked up. And they're like, you gotta do that one again. Like, yeah, it's work, but it's good money. You know,
yeah.
It's good money.
Let's see here. The most popular item at Walmart is bananas. They sell more bananas than any other single item they have in stock.
Amazing. I like bananas. Who's that? K-Dog McKee and Doghouse Report.
It's K-Dog Mikey. Hey, good to see you. I haven't seen him in a long time.
Hi, K-Dog. Good to meet you. I'm Matt from the YouTube channel Awesome Wood Things. I'm co-hosting Mind Equals Blown here on BrendaG's Designs. G as in gnome.
I have not seen Heiferbot show up tonight. I don't know why not. I don't understand.
I have
why
no
she's
idea what this
doing
Heiferbot
her thing here.
Who controls Heiferbot? What Heiferbot? You know what the motives are for Heiferbot.
Heiferbot should be dropping links and things in the chat, and she's not doing her job tonight, and I don't know why not.
Oh, that's a weird fact. 3 presidents have died on July 4th. That's a high percentage of presidents doing something on the same day. John Adams, Thomas Jefferson, and James Monroe all passed away on Independence Day.
Well, I got a question for you because you're so smart. Who's Q?
What's the question?
Who's Q?
Who's who?
Who's Q? The one that keeps putting out all the information there about Trump and you know, all these Q Anonymous or whatever it is.
I don't know. I think if I did, I'd be very rich.
There's talk that some people think that it's JFK Jr. That he didn't really die in that accident.
That's some conspiracy stuff right there. I'll tell you that much.
So I don't know. Well, according to my calculations over here, Heiferbot is supposed to be running. But for some reason, she ain't doing her thing. So I don't know. I'm not going to mess with it tonight, though. I know that much.
Like I said, I have no insight into Heiferbot. If it's a human controlling that account or if it's some sort of script.
Well, I control it. You know, Heiferbot is under my power. But
oh boy.
She's like supposed to be logged in and doing her thing tonight, and I don't know why maybe she's taking a nap. She might be froze to the ground.
Maybe.
Cold as it is.
Have you tried turning her off and turning her back on again? That helps.
I may have to do that, but I'm not going to do it right now. I'll do
Power
it
down
next
the
time.
internet, cycle it back up.
Yeah, we might mention now too that we have decided that we're going to be running this on my channel every week now. So every Thursday night, this show will be live here on my channel as long as we have some interest in it.
Yep.
We'll keep
Brenda
doing
G's
it.
Design is going to be the formal home of Mind Equals Blown.
So
that'll be a little easier for the audience too. Then they won't have to jump around from channel.
Figure out where we're going to be from one week to the next.
Awesome with Things is where I am. So check me out.
Yeah. Matt has 2 shows on Monday night. He's got an Adobe show that he does, and then he follows it immediately with YouTube related statistics on how to help you make the most out of YouTube with your channel. And that's
All
on Monday
Things
nights.
YouTube is what it's called.
And you might put something else there in the chat there, Matt, so that they could hit those dots and find your channel.
You got it.
Get supporting you over there so that they can see your shows.
Drop a link to my channel. I'm trying to get to 5,000 subscribers. I'm less than 100 away.
Cool.
So need to pick up a few more, and I'm working on a new video. Anxious to get that out.
Yeah, my channel's growing. Subscriber wise, doing pretty good.
Now you're at 3,400, something like that.
Yeah, something like that. 3,400.
Not too shabby.
And so it's growing little by little. We'll just keep
good.
Keep
That's
going
the
the right
thing,
direction.
man. It's slow growth. Nothing is fast on YouTube. I mean, unless you have a breakaway hit, man. But yeah, no, it's just every month is just a little bit better than the next. You can bust your butt, and then the stats will be like, boop.
Yeah. Well, watching the numbers will drive you crazy, you know, because I'll watch the subscriber count, you know, and just hour from hour, you know, it'll go up 5 and then it'll be down 7 and then it'll go up 10 and then it'll be down 3. You know, you try to figure out, okay, how in the heck is this being calculated is beyond me, but you know, it is whatever it is.
Just in Time Prepping is 13 subs away from 2K.
Cool.
Let me go to that channel now. Jim Dockrell put an interesting fact. He says, for the record, someone who was born in 1933 was 45 years old in 1978. Does that math check out? Oh, look at this. I am not subscribed to, let me share my screen. Can you see me now?
Yep, I can see you.
Just in Time Prepping.
Yep.
Look at that. Try and get you over there. There you go. Got to subscribe from me. Hey, you want to see something cool?
Sure.
It's kind of freaky. Look at this. Look at this woman. Isn't she cool?
Yeah.
So there's an interesting fact about this woman.
All right.
Where do you think this woman's ancestors are from? Look at her features and take a guess.
I'd say Romania, Yugoslavia.
Nope. Look at this. Look at her ears. You see her ear?
Yeah, she got pointy ears.
Yeah, isn't that weird?
She's alien.
She's an alien. That's not a human. This person was not born on this planet.
Yeah.
Isn't that freaky?
She's related to Spock.
Look at this. Look, this young male was with her.
He's another pointy ear.
He too has pointy, and the eyes. I don't know if you can tell, but the eyes are proportionately a little bit larger than our eye. Like, isn't that freaky? Like, can you like, if that's true? Like, I have no. How do I stop sharing? Yeah, do I stop sharing? Yeah. If that's true, does that blow your mind? Like, have you ever saw an image of something that wasn't born on this planet? That's crazy.
Nimoy's daughter and grandson.
Say that again?
That's Leonard Nimoy's daughter and grandson.
No, the text that went along with that, she's 100 years old and the young child was 30. Because they age differently than us.
Okay.
And they don't speak. They communicate with telepathy between the two of them. They never communicated with any of the military that was handling them. That was just crazy. And
have you ever been able to communicate with people by telepathy?
No.
I used to have one friend that we could just look at each other and know what each other was thinking.
Well, now see that's something everyone's like. You can sense when someone's looking at you. Like that's a real thing.
It was interesting because we were both in an amateur radio club, and we'd be at a meeting, and somebody'd be saying something, and I could look over at him, and he'd know exactly what I was thinking, and I'd know exactly what he was thinking.
Well, that's cool. No, there's something there. There's something under the surface that every person kind of knows is there. And it's that same thing. It's the you can tell when someone's looking at you. Like that's a real thing everyone has experienced. And yawning, like if someone yawns, you yawn too. Like there's something more going on there. Jim Dockrell says, I don't think you got the joke. Someone who's born in 33 was 45 years old in 1978. Are you making me... Jim, are you causing trouble?
Well, he's right. I don't get the joke in it, but he is right. If you were born in 33, you would be 45 years old in 1978.
Jim says, that's easy with the man. They only ever have two thoughts. I'm hungry or something else. Yeah. You just guess one of those two things and you have a 50% chance of it being correct.
No, somebody'd say something like about a piece of amateur radio equipment, and we'd be thinking that, okay, could we adapt that into our own equipment for the club, or this is somebody that maybe we need to get involved with our club because they know how to do this, and that sort of thing. But me and him, we were on the same wavelength.
Jim broke down his comment there. 33 record, 45 record, and 78 record.
Oh, okay. All right.
There you go.
Talking about records.
All right. So we had to...
You got to explain it to us and don't blow our mind.
Well... Is there a soggy taco emoji I can give?
For that one, you get the horn.
I'll give Jim the kissy lips. How about that? So, there you go.
Well, I was talking about that monkey a while ago, or about the bananas a while ago. They say that that monkeys eat more bananas than people.
Oh, yeah?
And I believe that because I've never seen a monkey eat somebody.
They rip faces off people, I'll tell you that much. That's their go-to move. You piss off a monkey, it's like, all right, your face, I'm going to rip it off.
I would hope they eat more bananas than people because there will be a heck of a lot less people around in a hurry.
Yeah. Oh, man. No, I follow. That's funny.
Samuel Clemens, Mark Twain, was born on and died on days when Halley's Comet can be seen. Yes, I did know that.
Whoa.
Yes, that was really strange.
Yep, I remember when that was coming around. It was the farthest thing from interest from me. I'm like,
you didn't want to get on the ship and go with them people?
I did look at it. No, that was Hale Bop.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Halley's was earlier. That was in what, early 80s? I was young. But I remember looking at it. It wasn't that big. I guess other times it passed, it was closer to the Earth. Like you see some of the old drawings of it. It's huge. It's like all across the sky. Like the renditions of it from older civilizations when it was around a couple cycles ago.
Did you think they's coming to get you?
From the comet? No. Come on. Now that Oumuamua, that thing, that was interesting. You know, that long cylindrical thing that flew into our solar system, whipped around the sun, and flew back out.
No, I didn't know nothing about
You
that.
didn't hear about that?
No.
Brenda, come on. Yeah, there was this unidentified object that was screaming towards the sun, and we picked it up, and the light was changing. The brightness was changing.
Mm-hmm.
And the only way it would do that is if it was a long cylindrical thing. Like here, like a lot of light would come off of it. And here, like no light would come off of it. So it was 10-to-1 proportions. So probably about like that. About like that, 10-to-1. And it was this huge thing. And it came down and it went between Mars and Earth or something like that, and then whipped around the sun and then flew gravity assisted around the sun. It was, they started tracking it, and they projected out where it would go. And it's going on its own path now. Like where it was heading, it's now like shifted over. And it came from out of the solar system. So it was an interstellar space, came in, whipped around the sun, and flew back out.
And nobody knows what it was, or
nobody knows what it was.
Space trash, or
well, the thing is, objects in space don't take that proportion. Things in space tend to be spherical. You know, they all kind of, it collapses in on itself in like a ball. Nothing is ever a 10-to-1 ratio. So they're like, it must have been, they don't know what it was.
Could have been a mobile home from some alternate universe.
Probably some interstellar alien craft that has been dead and whipping around the solar system forever.
Maybe it was that spacecraft from Meatballs.
I don't know what it was.
Well, speaking of that, sunsets on Mars are blue. Did you know that?
Say that again.
Sunsets on Mars are blue.
Blue? Why are they blue on Mars?
I don't know.
Interesting.
I thought you'd know.
Mars isn't the color that they show it to be. All the pictures of Mars, they tint red. It's not that red. Now, it is sort of like a burnt orange, like a rust color, but it's nowhere near as red as they show Mars to be.
Just in Time Prepping says Mona Lisa has no eyebrows. Have you seen that creepy picture that they've been passing around on Facebook of that girl that looks like Mona Lisa on the subway?
No. I should try and pull it up. Subway Mona Lisa. Comes right up in Google. Oh, are you kidding me?
Isn't that creepy?
I have it up. Do you want me to share?
Yeah, go ahead and share the screen so everybody can see that if they ain't seen it over on Facebook.
All right, target me so you can look at that. Mona Lisa A. Oh, zoom in. Well, that's not her. Okay, there she is on the subway. Oh, now it's side to side. That's cool. See, look how the real Mona Lisa, like this had significance where this was higher up here and lower down there. Like that had some sort of grand.
I believe the caption on it on Facebook said something about, I don't know whether to ask her for her autograph or report her to the museum.
Okay. If I'm still targeted, take me off targeted. But yeah, no, that's crazy. Mona Lisa and the real Mona Lisa.
Just in Time Prepping says the 57 on the Heinz ketchup bottle represents the number of pickle types the company once had.
No way. I had no idea. Just in Time Prepping You get a virtual taco.
I had no idea there was that many kinds of pickles.
Aren't they all just cucumbers and different types of brine?
Yeah.
Cool.
LBS comes from the Latin word libra, which means pound.
Nice.
I did not know that. Small indents in the bottom of frozen pizzas are there to prevent air bubbles forming inside the dough.
Mm.
I just call them dimples.
Okay.
Pizza dimples.
This fact says ketchup used to be considered a medicine, speaking of ketchup.
Yep.
Even made into pill form to rid people of stomach ailments. Is that because it's acidic? That aren't
Probably.
tomatoes acid based, like acidic?
I learned something the other day that I did not know, that you're really not supposed to eat the seeds in the tomatoes, that they're not good for your stomach and your digestion. And it comes from the tomato being a nightshade plant. So you're really not supposed to consume anything that's nightshade. And so the tomato, in order to keep people from really eating it, tries to defend itself by putting it lectin, I think is what it's called, in the seeds of the tomato.
How
And
can you not eat the seeds? They're everywhere.
yeah, well, have you ever tried to seed a tomato when you're making a salad? Because the fancy chefs, they'll seed the tomato. There's hardly any tomato left by the time you take the seeds out of it, and it takes you all day to get them seeds out of there.
Oh my gosh, no, not much in the gourmet stuff. Meat and potatoes for me.
Yeah.
Polar bears don't have white skin or fur. Aren't they like clear? It's more of a clear, but just appears white.
That's because they're alien.
Here's an interesting fact. The eyeball of an octopus, it's almost identical to the eyeball of a human.
Wow.
It's freaky. It is freaky.
Does that mean octopus have to have glasses too?
I don't know. That LASIK surgery for the octopus.
Yeah. The term footage comes from films being measured in feet when being edited in the early days of filmmaking.
Oh. Well, cutting too. When they cut the scenes, they literally cut the film and spliced it together.
I imagine that I've ended up on many of a cutting room floor.
If modern YouTube videos had real cutting scraps on the floor of my videos, I had 3 hours of high def footage. 3 hours of me painting and scraping paint off. Yeah, I cut it down to a 4-minute video. 3 hours.
Lord, you are up to your knees in yourself.
If it was real, like it would be waist high, full of clips that were not making it into my latest video.
In 2005, speaking of Mark Zuckerberg, he unsuccessfully tried to sell Facebook for $75 million. Back then, it was called the Facebook.
That was in the social media network. Well, it's the term "the Facebook" was not the sale. But yeah, they dropped the. They removed the from the name because it sounded cleaner. Yeah, that's when what's his name said, don't think millions, think billions. And he was right. Facebook is a juggernaut.
There's an opposite of albino that aren't white. They're black. These are known as melanistic animals.
So super pigment everywhere?
Yeah.
Wow.
See, I've often wondered about that because I've seen white squirrels, and everybody's seen gray squirrels and red squirrels. But around here, we also have black squirrels.
Hmm.
And I wondered, if that was like, the mirror opposite of the albinos.
Didn't know that.
Because I
Didn't
mean,
know that.
they're all black, everything, foot pads, the eyeballs, everything black on them.
Mm. Mm.
Some areas of Scotland and Japan switched to blue street lights at night and saw a decrease in crime and suicide rates.
Blue.
Yeah.
Huh. Wonder why that was.
I wonder if that has anything to do with why they have those blue lights on police cars.
So I was thinking the blue filter on phones, where it takes I guess it takes the blue out. Like the blue is what agitates the brain. Do you ever see the nighttime mode? It gets sort of like sepia tone.
No, I don't have a fancy phone like that.
Some device. Wow. Some devices have that where white looks. Oh, Brenda.
I got a grandma phone.
Oh, what are we gonna do with you? Well, we have to welcome you into 1990s.
I have been trying to save up to get me a smartphone. It is not working because there's always something comes up, another bill comes up,
Payment
something I need
plans.
words. I know I won't do payment plan on a phone. No,
Mm-hmm.
no. I'll buy the phone outright and I'll pay for the use of the phone for like a year. Do it that way. No.
Mine should be soon paid off because I do the.
And as soon as you pay it off, then you're going to need a new one.
Well, mine's still kicking.
Starting all over again.
It was a little jumpy where like it would go black for like half a second and then come back, and I was like, "Uh-oh, this is something that's going to keep getting worse in frequency and duration." But it did eventually go away, thankfully. Got lucky, I guess. There's a town in western New York populated by psychics. What? An hour southwest of Buffalo, New York has a population of just 275, virtually all of whom are psychics and other spiritualists. New York. Hour southwest of Buffalo. Okay.
The first film with $100 million budget was True Lies, which was made in 1994.
Wow.
Can you imagine putting that kind of money into a film?
No. Not at all.
You put that kind of money into your YouTube channel?
Oh, Mel's here. He says, "My mind is blown." Now he says, "Boom." Welcome, Mel.
Mel's going to put that kind of money in his channel. He's saving up. I've seen him saving up. He's got a pickle jar that he's putting money in every week.
Nice. I do that. I have little buckets of coins.
Yeah, I save my change back. Every time I get change, I got it's one of them plastic snack jars, that sits about a foot high.
Yeah, yeah.
I had a plastic lid on it, and I cut a slit in the lid, and I just put all my spare change in there. And when I get it full, then I take it to the bank. They don't even make you sack it here. You just take it to the bank. They got a change counter, and they just pour it all in that thing. You have to trust that it's going to count it right. But if you sack your change, they take it and unsack it and put it through that machine anyway.
Look what I went to the bank this before Christmas, get some cool money. They have a whole drawer full of $2 bills.
Yep.
So I said, "How many you got there?" I took as many as they had.
My
cousins.
I haven't done this in a long time, but I used to keep some $2 bills in my wallet. And if I went through a drive-through and got a hold of some idiot kid that was screwing my order up and giving me a hard time, I would pay with $2 bills. And you would not believe how these kids are, but this isn't real money.
Oh, I've heard people calling the police. The police show up and it's like, "It's legal tender. Leave them go." Meanwhile, like a half hour burned by.
Yeah. Oh, I just give them all kinds of hard time about it. And get your manager out here. Yeah, it's real money.
50-cent pieces.
Mm-hmm.
The
Yep.
stuff I come across, I just tend to keep. I have a bunch of quarters in a big cup I got from Binion's Casino in Las Vegas, and I think it's funny. Here, let me show you. It's gonna take a second to get it.
You need to separate all the silver ones, the ones that's got silver in them, from the regular ones.
Oh, it's heavy.
And then put them silver ones back. Never touch them.
Look at this. Look what this is a piece of decoration I have. This is my Binion's cup. I put quarters in it because it seems appropriate.
Yep.
But look at the slogan on Binion's. The Binion's has the World Series of Poker, and it's in the rear of the casino. And out front they have a bar, and no beer. It's only spirits. So their slogan, their corporate slogan, and it's right here on the cup. It says, liquor in the front, poker in the rear. And then look at the name of the bar. It says whiskey, LICKER, liquor, whiskey liquor bar. Yep. That's right. I'm like, all right, any company that operates in America that has the corporate slogan, poker in the rear, well, liquor in the front, poker in the rear. I'm like, that you get my business.
Yep. I have ideas all the time for cool businesses, and nobody wants to jump in and take them on. I'm retired, so I can't do it, but I throw ideas out all the time, like a drive-through Italian restaurant called Spaghetti in a Sack.
Okay. See, now you and I think alike. I had similar thoughts where I wanted to come up with businesses that don't make sense, but it's just for money laundering purposes. Like, it just has to be like a real business and sort of sound legitimate. So I'm thinking the one I came up with is like a serve yourself coin op photocopy place. So I have photocopies with you drop your coins in, you get a photocopy, but it would also be like poetry slam. So it'd be poetry and photocopying, and like you would come in there and it'd be someone like going like, yeah, daddy-o, let me tell you about this and then people would be like, it's like the photocopiers go flash, flash, flash. And then meanwhile, in the back office, they're just laundering all kinds of ill-gotten goods, so this is what I think of when I'm alone. See, it's a dangerous place up here in my mind.
Well, I thought about, as I'm getting older, these kind of things come to mind too, that maybe we should have like a drive-through funeral parlor, because nobody likes to go to funerals anymore. So it could be like a drive-through funeral parlor called Grandpa in the Box.
Instead of Jack in the Box, Grandpa. Yeah. Paul in the box. Well, speaking of Las Vegas, there's a wedding chapel that has a drive-through wedding.
Yeah.
And are you ready to have your mind blown?
Okay.
This might be the high. Maybe we should save this for the end of the show. That's where I got married. I got married at the Little White Wedding Chapel in Las Vegas, Nevada, and they have a drive-through wedding service. Now, we didn't do the drive-through,
okay,
but we did. But I don't tell a lot of people that, because most people think, oh, it was a shotgun wedding. No, we flew 17 people out and had a full wedding, and it was a destination anyway.
My first one, I got married in a church, and my second one, we ran off to Jellicoe, Tennessee, and got married in Jellicoe, Tennessee.
Okay.
And then the third one, I got married in the mayor's office.
Huh.
So they just kind of kept going downhill.
Yeah, you started here.
If I got married again, it'd have to be in the outhouse.
Oh no. I'll take you to Little White Wedding Chapel in Las Vegas. We'll hook you up. I'll get the discount. I got the punch card going. No. I've been married 21 years. 21 years.
Yeah, my longest one was the last one. That was 14 years.
Okay.
Some people thought I was going to end up like a Zsa Zsa, and just keep getting married and getting married and getting married and getting married and, not know when to quit. But after the third one, I said, no, if you can't get it right in 3 of them, you need to just quit.
Oh, Chuck E. Cheese. You know what Chuck E. Cheese is?
Yeah.
It's an abbreviation of Charles Entertainment Cheese. That's the full name of Chuck E. Cheese. And I have an old photo somewhere. It used to be called Chunk and Cheeses. I don't even think that's on the internet anymore, but that was, and then the kids couldn't pronounce it. And they would just say, instead of Chunk and Cheeses, they would say Chuck E. Cheese because young kids couldn't pronounce it. So, but yeah. And then one of the woodworking friends I have, Javi, there was a knockoff Chuck E. Cheese with Javi, or with the bear. It was a bear front instead of a mouse. It was a bear, and I forget what the name of the bear was, but he was the voice actor for the bear. And they had 3 locations. It was gonna go franchise, but it never quite got there. So they had, and it was the same setup with the animatronic show in where you ate dinner, and then the video games out front. It was a total ripoff of the business plan. But the guy I know did all the voice acting. Well, you know, he was a few characters, but he was the main character. And I was like, he said he used to go in to eat and he would do the voice in plain clothes, and they would look around and that they wouldn't see the bear, but they would just see him. But they didn't know it came from him. He was teasing all the kids. Yeah, that's nuts. True story. Was it Javi Bear? Barney Bear? It was some, I don't know what the bear's name was, but he was, it was like a big blustery voice type thing. I was like, cool.
Digging a hole to China is theoretically possible if you start in Argentina.
I don't, what?
Digging a hole to China is theoretically, I'll get it spit out here, possible if you start in Argentina.
Okay. Now that reminds me, there was what was his name? Frank. It was it was one of the first guys on YouTube. What was his name? Franco. I don't know what it was, but he's a strange individual. He orchestrated a worldwide movement where anywhere on the globe, if there were land masses on the polar opposite side, because you can't always do that because you kind of end up in the ocean on one side, but there are many spots on the globe where if you go straight through, there's land on both sides. He had people put a loaf of bread or a slice of bread on the ground on both sides. And he called it an earth sandwich. And he would catalog all of these instances of white sliced bread on the ground on both sides of the earth at the same time. And it was sort of like an art installation. Zay Frank. Do you remember him? Zay Frank? That was his name. He had a YouTube channel, and it was the first vlog ever. And his whole thing was he would cut out any part of him speaking where he blinked. So he never blinked when he gave this commentary at all. He would be talking. And he would do really strange things. Like he would go to a hotel, and before he checks out, he would take all of the toilet paper out, and then he would write on every 10th square with a ballpoint pen, "I touched this." And then he would roll it all back up perfectly. Like it wasn't like all disheveled. Like he would like really. The guy was crazy. He was nuts. And this was when YouTube only would allow like 10-minute clips before it was owned by Google. Like he was old school. Yeah, he did a TED Talk. Go on the TED Talk website or YouTube channel and do a search for Zay Frank. And he's just an interesting dude. Like, and he did it forever. He did it for like a decade. He was on the platform. Yeah, he taught a lot of people how to be a creator in video before video was even a thing. Zay Frank was his name. Yeah.
Strawberries can also be white or yellow, and some even taste like pineapples.
Hmm.
Now,
Do
I'd
you,
be very suspicious if I if I bit into a strawberry and it tastes like a pineapple.
yeah. Do you know what kills people more often than sharks? Well, that's easy. A lot of things do.
Well, me, if I'm mad.
True. Never cross Brenda. Oh, Lord have mercy. Now, selfies. People taking selfies is very deadly. And did you ever notice, like, someone did something on the internet? It was so clever. It's like, okay, so if you're next to a cliff and you take a selfie 10 feet from the edge, that selfie is going to look identical as if you were right up on the edge of the cliff. Like, that 10 feet is going to make no difference to the actual image that you're capturing. None whatsoever. But everyone wants to get right on the edge and take a selfie. And believe me, it doesn't matter. So, for God's sakes, don't go to the edge when you're taking
Well, what
selfies.
about the people that are busy on their phone texting or playing games or whatever it is while they're walking?
Yeah. Yeah. Oh
They
my
smacked
gosh.
into poles, they walked out in traffic, they fell
Water
into
fountains.
pools and fountains.
You see that woman at the mall? She's
Yep.
walking and she trips right into the fountain. And then there was someone in Manhattan where, you know, that they open the little the stairway doors
Yep.
and they put a little cone out there, but you're supposed to walk around. Bloop, fell right down inside one of them.
Mhm. Serves them right. I call it cleaning the gene pool.
See, that's why we need augmented reality where we can see our screens, but we can still see through it. You know,
Yeah.
the background is reality.
Well, they're trying to get them now, I guess, in vehicles where, it shows right on the windshield of your car, but you
Hmm.
can see through it to see where you're driving.
Right. Bounces up on the
But I'm
screen.
thinking if your perception is to be reading text on the windshield, are you actually looking through and watching where you're going?
I want
Is
I wonder if it splits it for your vision. Like where like you have to refocus your eyes as if it's 20 feet in front of your car in order to read the text.
it should. I mean, can you imagine, people not paying any attention to where they're going because they're trying to read the writing on the windshield?
Well, that's why in augmented reality they only put it on one eye. So you never have that because your eyes are always, you know, refocusing. But if the image is only on one eye, then it'll never get double vision of the text. You know, when
What
they
if you're
put
blind in one eye? What if you're blind in one eye and can't see out the other?
no augmented reality for you.
I had an uncle that's what we said about him because he was legally blind and he still drove. We said he's blind in one eye and can't see out of the other one. You don't want to be riding in a car with him.
You take the cane out in front of the car, click, 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 click.
He would make you crazy if he was a passenger in the car.
Mm.
And I'm as a little kid, I'd be going someplace with my aunt and uncle. My aunt would be driving and he'd be a passenger in the car. All of a sudden, out of the blue, there's not another car around, the weather, beautiful day, and he'd start screaming, "Stop! Stop!" because of whatever he thought that he saw.
Oh my gosh.
And she'd be slamming on the brakes, and this was back before everybody had to wear seatbelts, so everybody's rolling around in the car like marbles. And then one day, I had to take them to a doctor. And my aunt's sitting up in the front seat with me, and he's sitting in the back seat, and I'm driving, and I'm going down the road, and all of a sudden, he starts his foolishness about, look out, and, all his thing. And I said, "Hey, you're a passenger in this car. You just sit back and relax, and I'll get you there in one piece."
There you go. Did it work?
It worked.
Oh,
I
wow.
thought my aunt should have done that a long time ago with him.
Wow. Sometimes that's all you need.
I come from a colorful family.
Seem like you're very direct people.
Yeah.
Hey, you.
Me probably more than any of them.
Oh, man. Jeez. That's a good thing. That's a good thing.
I'll tell you a funny story here as we close out the show. My dad remarried after my mother passed away. He found a real nice lady and married her, and she was just salty to her. She was the sweetest lady. And one day I went out to the house. Well, I was summoned because she said that her brother and his wife were coming to visit, and she'd like for me to meet them. And I said, okay. So I go out there to the farm, and Dad and her sitting around the table, and her brother hadn't got there yet. And my dad looks at me and he says, when they get here, shut up.
Oh.
And I'm like, what did I do? And he says, you don't understand, but you will. So don't say anything.
How can you not say anything?
Just pleasantries, you can say hello, and all that. He says, whatever it is they do, don't say nothing. Okay.
Wow.
So they get there and they come in the door, and they were going to stay for a few days, so they had their luggage with them, but they also had a brown paper sack, and it was folded down at the top, but the paper sack had holes cut in it, which to me was a little odd in itself.
Did you not say anything?
I didn't say anything. And they'd been there for a little while, and they opened up the sack, and they took these stuffed animals out, and they set them up. She had a shelf there in the kitchen. They set them up there on the shelf, and they was calling these critters by names. I don't remember what the names were that they had for them. And, I'm finding this a little bit odd. So we sat there for a little bit, and Dad says something about he had to go out to the barn to do some feeding. And he looked at me and he says, come with me. I said, all right. So I go out to the barn. I looked at Dad and I said, what the hell is that? And he started laughing, and he says, they don't have any children. So they have these stuffed animals, and they put them in a sack, and they cut holes in the sack so that the little critters can see out wherever they take them. They put them in the back window of the car when they drive so that the little critters can see wherever it is they go.
No.
If they go to a parade, they hold the bottom of the sack up, holding this paper sack with these holes cut in it so these little critters can see the parade going by.
That doesn't happen.
And he says, so that's why I told you to shut up. He says, they're her family, and that they're peculiar. And he says, she loves them. So I didn't want you to say nothing.
Well, telling someone not to say anything and then giving them a heads up about that is two separate things. I mean, my goodness. You'd think he'd at least give you a roundabout warning about what exactly it was. Yeah. Holy cow.
I mean, I'm glad he told me not to say nothing because, I don't have a filter. And I would have just asked him flat out when they set them little critters up, started calling them names. What the hell are you doing?
Yeah. Crazy.
Yeah, I come from a colorful family. Some of them are by marriage, and then some of them are, supposed to be legitimate. I question it.
Oh, my goodness. My goodness.
Well, with all that being said, we've been on here a little over an hour. So if it's all the same to you, I think we'll close her out for tonight and come back next week with a whole new batch of facts and have everybody share the dickens out of this for next week. And we'll get a room full of people in here. I'd say next week, if I can get my cursor over where it needs to be here, next week will be the last day of January.
31st.
31st day of January.
Day after that, I got getting my taxes done. Not looking forward to that.
Are they even doing taxes this year with the government shut down?
Yeah.
Are they? I heard, our IRS was one of them where they had shut it down. So, but they expect you to pay anyway, even though it's shut down. That ain't fair.
Correct. It's not fair. And yes, you still got to pay as far as I know.
Call the White House and ask Trump. Say, you shut down the IRS because you don't want us to pay this year. Is that what this is about?
Your payment will be huge. It'll be huge.
Well, I'd like to thank everybody that came in. Let's see, Chrissy Eason came in here just as we're about to shut her down, but good to see you in there. And Mel's in the house, and we had a few other ones in there early. Crystal McGuire, Just Time Prepping, Jim Dockrell, and Farmall Fanatic. We're all in the house this evening. And K-Dog Mikey, don't want to leave him out. One cast, one fish. So we had several people in the house this evening. But everybody go back and tell all your friends about what we do here, because you never know what we're liable to discuss or say or do, or
Yeah.
especially me.
Go check out my YouTube. I dropped the link in there. Awesome wood things. I make things out of wood that are awesome, not surprisingly.
And he does Adobe and he does YouTube help videos. So,
You got it.
check out his live streams, 2 of them on Monday night. And with all that being said, we'll shut her down and we'll see y'all next week. Bye,
Bye,
y'all.
folks. Take care.